Hello, and welcome to the Hypno Travelers on the Magical Psyche Highway podcast. That's right. Your host and tour guide is Scott Prevett, a healer, hypnotist, and a magician. And your bus driver is Jason Gobelli, also a hypnotist, an entrepreneur, and a spiritual guide. Disclaimer, neither Jason, Scott, or any of our guests here today are licensed professional psychologists or psychiatrists. So please don't make any changes to any medication or treatments that you are currently on based on the conversation that you hear here today. Just hop on the bus and enjoy the ride. Trip with us on the Inner Revelation bus. That's right.
Hi, I'm Jason. Welcome back to the Hypno Travelers on the Magical Psyche Highway. Today we're excited, aren't we, Scott?
Heck yeah, we got Lara Cox.
That's right, Lara Cox, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Laura, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Wonderful. It's great now that we have you on the show. So let's get started right off the bat, right away. Who are you and what do you do?
God, that's a big question, isn't it? Especially for someone that's had little sleep. Who am I? That's a really good point. And I feel a bit confused now. I am a person, first and foremost. Do you know what? I'm a writer. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm a comedian. I'm a mum. I'm a wife. Yeah, I think that's quite a lot, isn't it? That's enough.
Sounds like you got your hands full.
I can change. I can change.
So how old are your kids, Laura?
My eldest is 13 and my youngest is 10.
Oh yeah, you got your hands full.
Yeah. It's actually got a lot easier. I'd say it's getting easier all the time. Apart from obviously, as the older one, there's more complex issues now. You know, there's just issues become much more, emotionally fraught. I'd say, yeah.
Nice. Okay,
I'm
Laura.
waiting for you to notice the background. You haven't. You're too polite. You think, why are there pants in the background? But you haven't even asked me about my underwear, which I'm quite surprised about.
Hey, well, you know what? Well, I got that background, and we got the Hypno Travelers bus flying on your magical highway, and it just so happens to be flying over Vegas because we know that you're speaking in Vegas at the Hypno Thoughts thing coming up pretty soon. And speaking of that, since we're on that topic right now, so the question is, well, what the fuck is your problem, Laura?
I've got so many. But my problem is I'm human. That's my problem, and and I share my problems too much. That's probably what it is. I don't want to say too much about what my presentation's about because it's stuff I haven't actually ever. Some of it's stuff that I've not talked about before, and it's kind of like slightly confessional. And I feel like Vegas is the place to do it. Vegas is because it's a safe space. It's a hypno place. It's not going to affect anyone like in my life. In some ways, it's a kind of synthesis of everything, of things that problems that I've had, problems that you've got that you don't know you've got. It's it's really about the way that we deal with, or the way that I deal with my problems. What is my fucking problem? Yeah, I think I'm just very honest. I think that's the big problem, and I'm quite open. Well, I'm very open. But yeah, no, I think yeah, I don't think my problem is any different from everyone else's. It's just I think it's just being prepared to talk about the things that bother us, the things that we suffer with, isn't it? The stuff that we don't really want to talk about.
And you know what, Laura? Being open and being human and being honest and talking about the things that you don't want to talk about, that doesn't sound like a problem to me. It sounds like a wonderful asset.
You know what? Yeah, it is, and I think it's well, and you know it's tongue in cheek anyway. And I think everyone knows from the title that it's tongue in cheek. But it's also about being a hypnotherapist, isn't it? Because we're dealing with people's apparent problems all the time, and actually, sometimes I do think, fucking hell, how can I be helping people with my problems when I'm very, I suppose it's the idea that none of us have arrived yet. None of us are finished or complete. Even the people that we sort of like revere and respect, we're all people, aren't we? And I think that's when we become empowered. When and I think this is something you do in stand-up comedy, when you're sharing the things you're embarrassed about, or You know, at the time when you're experiencing, they are problems, you know, when you're going through it. But when you can reflect and you synthesize and you share, that's when they don't become a problem, isn't it? That's when you're kind of working through and you're processing it. And I think, oh yeah, that's me as well. You know, yeah, it's not such a, you know, it's not such a big deal. Yes, you're a twat, so am I. You know, let's move on. It's fine. Yeah.
Nice. So, Laura, you're a comedian and you're definitely on the stage and stuff like this. But when did you come to that moment, that aha moment, when you said, "Oh, I'm actually going to be able to help people"?
Like, well, like as a hypnotherapist, you mean?
As a person, it may have come in comedy. I don't know. We're on your highway. When did you have that aha moment that you're going to really be able to change lives?
Oh, well, yeah, that would be from hypno rather than comedy. I like making people laugh, but I think, you know what? It's one of those people. There's not many things that I'm good at. All right, so I'm good at writing. I'm good at. I think generally good at talking when I'm like not worrying about it. And with hypnosis, it was one of those things. I did a course in 2017. I'd gone for hypnosis myself, and in fact, actually, yeah. So I've gone for hypnosis myself, and then thought, do you know what? This is my skill set. I can do all this. I mean, it was really helpful. The woman that helped me was amazing. She was exactly what I need. I spent the first session just crying. I'm just thinking, oh my God, I can actually talk about some of this. And it was for insomnia at the time. And then just for after a few sessions, I thought, my God, this is my skill set. And sometime after that, I had a dream. I've talked about this before in a podcast because it ended up being a protocol. I had this dream where I was teaching at the time, and it was very clear to me to stop teaching, to give up teaching, and become a hypnotherapist. So I did that, and then I started this course. It was a very crap course, but it was a course in hypnosis, and it was just enough to me. I think, no, I'm really good at this. Straight away I was good at it, and there's not many things I can say that about. I am shit at a phenomenal amount of things, you know, because I try a lot of things. But this was something I was really good at. In fact, and I had realised when I was thinking about it today, actually, that I did actually do hypnosis when I was at university, but I didn't. I found this Edgar Casey. Do you know Edgar Casey?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd had a few psychic experiences when I was at university. Either that or it was a lot of drugs. I'll never know for sure because I never really sort of asked. But I had some psychic phenomena where I heard. It was only with one individual who I suspect also did a lot of drugs. So I could hear what he was thinking, and actually I had that before. So this got me on a path of like finding out Edgar Casey, and then I started writing some scripts for hypnosis to help for various things. And then I forgot all about it. But really, it was doing that course in 2017 when I thought, do you know what, this is good. I can do this. And pretty much when I started doing hypnosis, I've had a few people that haven't helped along the way, but it was generally something that I've been really good at quite quickly. That I've had some, help people really quickly with it. So I thought, yeah, I can do this, and I want to do it because this is phenomenal. Uh, I can help people with this.
Well, speaking of Edgar Casey, who are some of your mentors? Who are some of the people that guided you and led you to where your path is today?
What for hypnosis?
Or whatever. We're on your highway, Laura. It's all,
Oh, fair enough.
all
Okay, let's.
about
Okay,
you.
good question. All right, so look for hypnosis, I'm going to say first. So after this chrysalis course, one of my friends came in and he was really excited about hypnosis, and he started talking about this guy Mike Mandel. He came in and he was all lit up and excited. He's got something like some new drug, and he told me about this Mike Mandel, and it was really good because you can go on the academy. So I went onto MMHA, and that really changed everything. It's like, oh my God, because first of all, you learn that it can be a business. And then up until then, any time I mentioned hypnosis to anyone, I was like, don't, that's you can, all right, it's okay, but it's not going to be a way to make money. You're not going to be able to stop teaching and become like a hypnotherapist and make enough money. But on MMHA, there's these people who are actually business people making money from it and being incredible. And obviously, Mike Mandel, as you know, is just an incredible teacher. I've never met him, but every single lesson that he gives is incredibly punchy and clear. It's just humorous. It's just all so palatable. So that was the first thing. And then obviously on his academy, they've got all these other people. You start seeing like Carl Smith and Who else? Like Melissa Tears, Laurie Hammond, all incredible. Freddie Jacquin, Anthony Jacquin. So then, after maybe about a year on MHA, I then went over to JHA. And that was, again, it's very different because obviously it's such different styles in hypnosis. And I think naturally I am actually more gentle. I'm quite gentle. My style was probably quite permissive. However, I do like to have a little bit of direct hypnosis in there, and it really does help having that balance. And Carl Smith was great for that. I just binged on loads of his YouTubes, and when I first started, I just watched loads of his stuff, and I love the direct way he speaks. And it was when I was at MMHA, one of the things that I have to be careful of is there's a lot of people that are either religious or careful with the way they speak, don't curse. And I just think for me that if I had to live like that, I mean, I was a teacher for years anyway. That almost killed me, and it just makes me feel like this isn't real. I can't. This isn't. Well, it's not real for me anyway. And trying to be that careful with how I speak and not offend anyone, and I see that I couldn't heal like that, and I couldn't see someone to help me like that. So when I heard Cole Smith talk, thank fuck for that. Just someone who just speaks like in a way that I can relate to. Not, I would like to try and swear less, but I think I swear much more now as a result of not being able to swear in school for so long. It was like I've been repressed for so long, and now I probably swear more than I ever did, just because I wasn't allowed to. Anyway, so those are pretty much my handful of mentors. Are all incredible people. I love Laurie Hammond just because she's got this. Up until I met Laurie Hammond, no, I hadn't met her. I've never actually met her, and I won't meet till I actually go to Vegas. But I never really liked really, really overtly lovely, nice people on the outside because I never really trust it. I'm always, there's a great saying by Sigmund Freud that people that are most like perfect on the outside have got the most demons on the inside, and that's kind of how I feel about it. But Laurie Hammond is genuinely one of those genuinely wonderful people that can fill people with hope and gives time for everyone. And I feel like, yeah, if I could just be a little bit kinder, a little bit. I am compassionate underneath it, but I don't think I always show how compassionate I am. But Laurie Hammond, if I could just soften myself sometimes a little bit, that would be great.
Nice. We're MMHA people as well, so we got
What's
that.
that?
We're MMHA people as well, so we have
Yeah,
that.
no, I know. I didn't realize that till recently, but obviously I realized. Are you both MMHA?
Yes. We're on your highway today, Lori. So let's talk about you. So, so you've been on the stage even before you did hypnosis. So now you have a cross on the stage with hypnosis and
Yeah.
comedy, correct?
You do, and I don't know what on earth I'm doing. I really don't. I was just like, don't know. I don't know how this happened. I feel like I have been hypnotized because when I started doing hypnosis, I'd known. So I mean, I love stand up. Stand up comedy was my first love. I was gonna be a comedian. Well, actually, that's not quite true. Writing was my first love, and stand up was an immediate way of getting feedback rather than writing on my own in my bedroom, from my 20s. I thought this is as much as I love writing. I thought, but I want to go out, I want to meet people as well. I don't want to just be waiting to earn money, for my books. And so stand up was a social means of, a conduit for my writing and comedy. I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, but anyway, so I really enjoyed. I loved comedy, but then when I stopped doing it, and it was a long, painful process. I didn't just stop overnight. It was like lots of things weren't working in my life at the time. I wasn't making enough money. I suddenly thought, well, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it significantly enough that I can justify being a wizened old bitter woman, which is what most of the comedians end up being, because everything's so hard for women on the circuit. It's a tough life. It's probably got easier, to be honest, than it was like 20, 30 years ago, but it was still quite tough. Lots of traveling around to shit places with, shit rooms for 50 quid, so so when I stopped, it was painful because I thought, that I was actually really good and I had talent for it. But I lost the endurance, the confidence, a lot of things. So when I started into hypnosis, I never thought for a minute I'm going to go back into doing stand up. It wasn't at all what I wanted. I love hypnosis. I love hypnosis as much as I've loved anything else in my life, which I've never loved anything that, even when I was teaching, I never believed for 16 years I was a teacher. I never really believed I was a teacher. I was always just in disguise. But a writer, if you said in my heart, I always know I'm just a writer playing a part, playing the part of a teacher, and I've just ended up on EastEnders and just got this role that's gone on and on and on. But yeah, with hypnosis, I thought, no, I really love this. I love what you can do with it. I've totally fallen in love with it. And well, I can't remember what the question was. Oh yeah, I had crossover. So how do I don't really know how I got back into doing, and I know why actually, because I wanted to be a better hypnotherapist, and all the people who I thought were really great, Mike Mandel, Cole Smith, Freddie Jacquin, Anthony Jacquin, they've all done stage hypnosis. But yeah, this is it ratify? It's going to improve results. It's what people want. It's what people expect. I don't like to disappoint people. People have expectations. I don't want to be the shit hypnotherapist that just bores them to sleep. I want to be good. I want to give them something that they're going to remember. So that's what really why I started getting into doing a little bit of learning a bit of stage stuff. I thought it's just going to improve my results. And then I thought, do you know what? I'm actually good at this. I'm good at this. And I can do this. Then I realised other people are scared of it. Why are you scared of that? It's so that's really how it started. And then I thought, I wonder what it'd be like then if I hit. And then I started realising that hypnosis and comedy are, and I have been thinking about this for a while. And this is kind of at the root of my presentation as well. That when you do stand up, or certainly when I did stand up, a lot of it is looking at processing painful things in your life, things that have been painful, uh, as a way of processing it, but in order to be funny, but to share, because the sharing comes, or the humor comes in the recognition and the shared experience, and something happens in that room when people share comedy and laughter. It loves. You can feel the love in the room, and it changes everything. So that was, and hypnosis is the same. But in order for that to happen with comedy, there is an emotional process when you're writing material, particularly. You kind of detach from what it was that was upsetting, or what was bothering you, or it's in a funny way and it stops bothering you. And hypnosis is the same. When you're dealing with problems, if you think about the arrow, you dissociate from all your problems and you explode them. An arrow passes through them and they shatter. Carl Smith's emotional detox, basically, or even kinetic shift. You got all the bad stuff, the crap stuff, the shame, the pain, the anger, the emotion. Get it out. It's as simple as that, isn't it? You pull it out. It's emotional disassociation, and pretty much that's at the root of most protocols. It's some kind of emotional disassociation, as is comedy. It's emotional disassociation collapse. You go into the collapse for me in comedy is when everyone laughs and the trauma's gone. So there's an actual active collapse. And the same with hypnosis. So I just thought, well, actually, this is be amazing if we can sort of combine those two and start doing some stage hypnosis in a comedy environment. And I don't really mean the stage shows. I mean actually doing comedy, but I haven't. I come so at the beginning of this journey in terms of actually experimenting with that. And I'm now thinking, do I have to do stage shows? So I don't really know where I'm at. I've got some theories, and I'm kind of playing around with stuff, and hopefully getting better after a long time break of doing comedy, and it's occasionally still thinking, what the fuck am I doing? And I'm too old to be doing this anyway. Why am I just not? Why yet? So I've still got those questions as well. I wish I knew exactly where my direction is, but I don't. So yeah.
So
I'm
nice.
That
gonna have
kind of
to.
leads
I'm
me
gonna
up.
get rid of these pants now because they were supposed to. They were supposed to.
I just noticed it. I
Is
just
that
noticed.
I
What?
put it there specially, partly because when I realised it was a Zoom, I get really flustered about the background because everyone's got these really nice houses and wooden beams and plants and I thought, oh no, and my house never looks like I always feel a bit inadequate about it. So I thought, why don't I stop worrying and just have the worst case scenario right there, so I know it can't be worse. So I thought I'd get some really awful pants and have them in the background. So
Well, you know what I thought? I thought maybe it was metaphoric because you were going to bare yourself to us, so you threw your underclothes out there. So we'll take that as being open and raw in front of us and coming naked. There we go.
Looks like decorative hanging fabrics to me.
yeah, very, yeah. A pair of curtains, blue and purple or pink or
Yeah.
peach.
So let me ask you a question. So when you're doing your show, do you put
When am I doing it?
when you do it? When you
In
do it?
Vegas?
Yeah, no. When you're on your show, when you're on
Oh,
the stage, and when you're communicating with those volunteers, I know you do the fun stuff and the funny stuff, but do you throw the good therapeutic good stuff at them and give them some good stuff while they're up there?
yeah, always. But this is the thing, though, isn't it? It's really hard to get the balance. This is what I'm finding. But I always give them feel good stuff and confidence, and that's that's obviously always what you want to do. You always want to make people. Well, I always want to make people feel good. Of course, everyone does really. But yeah. So give them. Yeah, you're feeling amazing. Feeling confident, and anyone that comes onto the stage will feel that. Yeah. So, but primarily, there is a problem. This has happened recently. One of the because it was just one person came onto the stage, and I'd actually done therapy with her, and I should have known because she actually volunteered, and I think she was volunteering to be helpful, but she went into trance, and then she got really anxious, and I thought fuck. So basically, and this was in a comedy, and I was obviously ended up giving her some therapy on stage, really, make it feel she was fine by the end of it, but it's just kind of no, it's just not very funny. It's not funny. So it's finding that balance in it between actually. So therapy is not funny. So somehow you've got to just throw in some good suggestions.
Yeah.
Without it becoming therapy.
Right.
It's happened a couple of times where I don't know if I've lost my bottle or something's not going right, and just transition from stand up to therapy. And equally, in my therapy sessions, it can go the other way as well. When I should be being empathetic and sincere, I've had people who are normally all right at knowing when I can make a joke or not. But yeah, you do have to be careful.
Well, speaking of balance, you just talked about balance. Speaking of balance, you're traveling to Vegas, you do these shows all over the place and everything like that. How do you balance your family life with that? I'm sure a lot of our
Yeah,
hear
you
that.
say that. Well, my youngest had waffles for dinner tonight, and I was actually feeling really bad for tonight because apart from the fact I got the times all messed up today, so it's another night where I feel like I've been a terrible mother. People keep saying, "How do you do all of it? How do you do it?" Well, I'm just shit at a lot of things. Like come and look at the dinner that I made, or the kitchen floor, or the dust on the curtains. People's houses will not look like mine because I mean, this morning when I got the times wrong for our thing, I went to the gym actually, and I was running on the treadmill. I thought, I really hope I don't have a heart attack now, because if I do, the last thing that will be remembered is that I once again got the time wrong, and messed up everyone's day or messed up the day. And I just thought, I don't really want you to think that, and I don't want I don't want the kids to, because basically my organisational skills are really bad. I remember things that aren't very useful, like a gag someone did like 20 years ago, but but I won't necessarily remember an administrative thing for their school. So yeah, I am a good mum in some ways, but I'm also both of my children are incredibly good at organising themselves as a result of me forgetting stuff. Like my youngest is, she's a tennis player, and she will pack her own bag. She'll remember everything she does. She'll set her alarm, and yeah, they've both been really good at organising stuff because I'm quite often distracted. I'm sounding awful. I'm just yeah. So I don't balance everything all the time. That's the truth. You cannot be good at everything all the time. Um, so yeah. So there are things I don't prioritize tidying up. I don't always have make the meals I want to make. Yeah. There you go.
Well, I think that sometimes all of us tend to be our worst critic and beat ourselves up more than anyone else does. I'm sure that your kids have a much higher view and think much.
Yeah, maybe. I am a fun mum. I mean, I do support them in their dreams and their things that are important to them. I'm just not very organised, that's all, and I'm quite preoccupied. Um, but yeah, no, I'm not bad, but I hope I'm not a worst critic.
Wonderful, Scott. I've been hogging the show. You ready for a question or two?
Hey, I'm just here to shift gears a little bit. 10 years from now, when you look back, what do you want to see that you've done?
That's a great question. I keep asking myself that question at the moment. I would like to have a complete synthesis of all the stuff that I'm exploring at the moment. I've thought this recently. I am going to write a book for hypnosis because I've done about 10 different protocols already. I mean, I did protocols right at the beginning before I knew, if I'd known perhaps that all these incredible hypnotherapists, I probably wouldn't have done them. But because I didn't know about them. Because I'm a writer, it seemed natural for me when I understood the principles of hypnosis, which I believe I did quite quickly, that it was natural for me to create my own protocols. But now I feel like creatively, I probably quite like to write a book which is slightly anecdotal, but incorporating how the protocols have come about, what they do, and accompanying maybe funny anecdotes and stuff about them. So yes, I'd like a synthesis of everything because I am doing comedy, I'm doing stage hypnosis, but I don't want to be a comedian. I don't want to be a stage hypnotist. So that's why it's quite a funny thing. But I love doing all these things, and they feel really important to me. So when you asked me that first question, Jason, who are you? I thought I don't actually know. I don't really know, but I know that I suppose I feel I'm always philosophical first and foremost, and a writer first and foremost, and everything else is a synthesis. And I want to help people and connect people, and I want to make people laugh. And sometimes it's through hypnosis, and sometimes it's through writing something. So 10 years time, I would like there to be a total synthesis and a balance of all those things. So I can look back and think, oh, that is who I was. And I'd like there to be an authentic line of truth running through all of it,
I'm certain there will be.
I hope so.
So let's do this for our viewers here too. So how do they get a hold of you? Let's say they want to do therapy work or they want to do a stage show with comedy. I mean, you got all kinds of things going on. How are our viewers going to get a hold of you?
So I've got a website, I've got an email, I've got YouTube, I've got a very small YouTube channel. So LC Hypnotherapy, you can find me on YouTube. I've got about 322 subscribers. I'm on Facebook I've got a Facebook group where I share protocols. I have been sharing my protocols with other therapists there. It's called The Life You Want to Live, which is the idea of that. Someone said, "What's the point of this group?" Well, actually, they weren't not aggressively. What is the point of it? But that's a very good. The idea was to try and support people in the endeavour that they want to do. So if they want to do something, to do it. So whatever, either supporting shared journeys or thoughtful or loving guidance or a protocol. So yes, you can find me on Facebook under that. I'm LC Hypnotherapy or Lara Cox, the comedy hypnotist for now. that's my current profile. Or my website is www.lc hypnotherapy, so you can contact me there as well.
Nice.
Or you can come and see my show and my presentation in Vegas as well. That would be really cool. Are you both there?
We're going.
Yeah.
We're going. Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, Scott, you got another question, or shall I keep going?
You keep going, man. I'm working up.
What we know the book's under is coming up. Have you thought about the title?
No, I haven't actually. Because I did have one, but I'm not sure. No, good question. I thought the title about a book that I haven't written yet.
Yes, the one that's already there in your head.
Yeah, no, not yet. I mean, I feel like there's something with the Vegas title. I feel like this is kind of I've got a really good 20-minute presentation, but I feel like it's got more to it. So I think it could end up being something more. So, and that's the other thing. I was thinking of maybe doing some kind of Edinburgh show with it. This is I'll see how it goes. But I mean, because 20 minutes is a very short amount of time, isn't it? And because my background is as a playwright anyway, I can see and a lot of the comedians I really love, you know, you have great concept shows where there is a message at the end of it, and there's, you know, all the reason why I love comedy is they're basically the best comedians are basically philosophers that have found, you know, that use comedy as a conduit to give messages. You know, that's why I've always been in love with comedy. It was a more interesting way of hearing philosophy and, you know, people's life views. That's good comedy. Obviously, I'm not talking about, you know, knob gags and stuff, which is great, but it's not the stuff that you go and you think that person's changed my life. They've changed my perception. They've made me think about things in a completely different way. That's to me is what great comedy is, as well as laughing, obviously.
So, so Laura, you've got all this experience and you've done all this stuff. For our viewers, what are your words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom for you.
For our view, for everyone.
I was going to say you should turn your phone off at night when you go to bed. You never know who's going to call you. What's your fucking problem, mate?
Actually, you got me you got me in the restroom.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
You might be exposed on the camera, but I was last
Yeah,
night.
he sounds like a great first phone call. Hey, by the way, I'm in the toilet. What are you doing calling me at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah. All right, words of wisdom. So, okay, I've got a few actually, and none of these words of wisdom do I take myself, by the way. These are just things I give to other people. So the first one would be Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss. You know, I came across that at university, and at the time I was following my bliss. It was quite easy. It's quite easy to follow your bliss when you're 21, isn't it? It's like, hey, this is fun. So yeah, but follow bliss. I've come back to it, and it's taken me so long to remember. Oh yes, that's important. And I do encourage my children to do that as well, to do the things that make them happy. Because yeah, so follow your bliss. Um, and sometimes that's easier said than done. I know that because there's years that I didn't do it, and I forgot that message. Then there's Dan Millman. This is one that I really want to do myself. So if I could give myself this advice, this is the advice I give, which is breathe, breathe. It's a good one. Be here now. Okay, we say this all the time as hypnotists, don't we? Be here now, and not often do I ever be here now. You know, even though saying it to, you know, in therapy, just, but if I can ever just, you know, that comes down to meditating, trying to be present. You know, the only time I truly do that is probably when I write. Um, and then the other one is a Bill Hicks line. It's just a ride. He ends his just remember it's just a ride. He ends his one of his, I was in the 90s, he did this comedy show, and I think it was called It's Just a Ride. And it was all about, you know, some of his legends who'd gone away. They probably with him, they've done a load of drugs. They come back, they realise that life is just all perception. None of it's real. The stuff that we kind of get all caught up in, none of it's real. So when you're kind of like in that mess and you're worrying and you're anxious, and just remember it's all just a ride. And I thought, yeah, that's a great piece of advice to remember when you're believing in the stories that you're telling yourself, and in a negative way. Because remember, actually, you know, it's just a ride. It's a kind of version, a Nietzsche version, which is much more positive. Because I don't know, you know, did you ever read Nietzsche at any point?
In class a long time ago.
But it's all quite depressing. This is all pointless, and you know, it's all pointless. There's no purpose to anything. And when you read that, when I read that, I felt really quite, you know, it depressed me quite severely for a whole year, like a nervous breakdown point of view, because the message is just so dark. But whereas Bill Hicks's take on it is, yeah, but it's much more positive. It's just a ride. So it's got that playful, even if it's, you know, the meaning, you find your own meaning, and you don't have to take any of it too seriously. And that, you know, we just got this existence, and it's so joyful. Enjoy it. You know, just enjoy your existence. It's just a ride. Nothing matters that much. So those three things. That's my advice for you. And turn your phone off when you go to bed.
Sweet, sweet. So, Scott, you have anything you want to add?
Just thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to come here and spend time with us today.
Oh no, thank you. I can't believe you even asked me, and I hope I haven't. Yeah, no, honestly, see some people you've interviewed and think, I don't even really know why you're asking me. Is the truth?
Oh yeah,
So,
you're
no,
on a
thank
short
you.
list. You got to give yourself more credit than what you're doing.
Heck
Oh,
yeah. You got so many good things going on right now.
I I
no.
I bet if I asked your kids, they would have said that you're the first one I should have asked.
Yeah, no, mate, no. Yeah, and they were pleased. I did say I was doing an interview today, and they said, really? They were pleased. They are incredibly supportive and lovely. Um, yeah,
Nice. Well, it's been wonderful. Thank you for allowing us to travel down your magical psychic highway. We've certainly enjoyed it.
no,
And
thank you so much.
uh,
Thank you,
thank,
honestly.
it's
It's
been a
been
pleasure.
great fun. I really appreciate being asked, being able to just chat.
Nice. Okay, guys. Thank you for watching Hypno Travelers on the Magical Psyche Highway, and thank you for allowing us to travel down your Psyche Highway, Laura. And it's been wonderful. If you like this, give us a thumbs up. If you think we're assholes, give us the thumbs down. We don't
I
care.
don't.
We just want you to comment, share it with others, get us out there, and we'll see you next week on the highway. Thanks, guys.
Wow, what a trip. Thanks for taking that journey with us today. Please like us, share us, and enlighten us with your views of the topics we drove into today. We appreciate you and love reading your comments. Thanks again, and we hope to see you back on the bus next week. That's right.